If we zoom in a little more, it looks like JC Landing Road, County Road 71, Old Buckeye Road, Calvary Church. Let me make sure that's road. Calvary Church Road, and that is all in Johnson County. If we go a little further north into parts of Washington County, so if your commute takes you along 68 or 272, just be extra cautious because this is going to be on the way within the next few minutes. So you'll probably just want to wait a little while before you head out the door. This definitely looks like the rotation is doing a good job this morning here as we go through
Lawrence,
the
Johnson,
next few
and
minutes.
Washington.
This will continue to move off to the north at 25 miles per hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a tracker on this first, and then we'll continue on with zooming into any kind of towns just to get people ready as you are heading out the door anytime soon, because I know a lot of people probably are. Not the best time to be having severe weather. 7:51. Really, no time is good to have severe weather, is it? 7:51 Oconee. So that's the only town that is popping up right now. Of course, that means we're going to have to zoom in a little more to some of the roads, and we'll send it over to Alex. What you got?
Yeah, Courtney, speaking of towns, Lawrence County is included in this warning, but I want to note the city of Dublin is not included in this warning. This is far northern portions of Lawrence County, far western portions of Johnson County, so Wrightsville not included in this warning, and southern portions of Washington County. So it's headed in the general direction of Sandersville. However, Sandersville is not in the warning, and for good reason, because these tropical spin-up tornadoes are not long-lasting tornadoes. So this is headed through an unpopulated part of central Georgia, but still some people are there, which is why we are on the air now with this tornado warning again for Washington, Johnson, and Lawrence County, and that is going to run until 7:45 this morning. So Courtney, it's only about 20 minutes,
right.
And that's also for a good reason because of the tropical nature of these tornadoes. They spin up and they come down really fast. And before I send it back over to you, we'll check the CC values, and that does look like that could potentially be a tornado debris signature right there just to the southwest of Tucker's Crossroads. So that's Lawrence County coming into Johnson County. Courtney.
Thank you so much, Alex. Yeah, so more than likely, while this is rolling on through, while this might not roll through any kind of big city, it more than likely is going to be an issue for your commute, because more than likely you will be starting to head out along some of these roads. Again, Buckeye Road, that center is right over you, so hopefully you are already in an interior room if you live along that road. Now also, we'll go a little further to the north. It looks like Old Watermelon Road here, Matthew Brantley Road, and there's Calvary Church Road. Be sure that you are starting to make your way into, again, that lowest room away from doors and windows. Put as many doors between you and walls, between you and the outside as possible, because this is moving quite quickly at 25 miles per hour to the north. Old Buckeye Road, you as well, if you do live along or near that. Now we are continuing. Right here is the center, so this still hasn't made it out of Lawrence County yet, but this is about to move into western Johnson County, and Alex made a good point. This does not include Dublin. If you live in Dublin, you might be dealing with some heavy rain, and I'll take a look at reflectivity in just a second to see where all that rain is. But if you live in Dublin, if you live in Wrightsville, if you live in Span, this is off to your west, so it's not of a concern for you. You might be dealing with some heavy rain and very gusty wind, but when it comes to that center of circulation that we're keeping an eye on, that could be a potential tornado, you don't need to worry about that, even if you are hearing any kind of alarm, because you are in that county. Now, it looks like Highway 57, this could roll right along that within the next few minutes if that's where your commute takes you. Of course, a lot of people might be heading off towards the west to head closer towards some of our bigger cities like Macon to head to work this morning, and of course school. A lot of you are heading out to school this morning. Some buses probably already running, and if that commute takes you along 57, just be sure that you are not heading out. Just wait a few minutes. Here is that couplet right there. It's going to be rolling over here in the next few minutes, so wait for that to pass before you head out. We always say you don't want to be heading out in severe storms, let alone a tornado warning, so be sure that, again, you're being extra careful, as this is the commute hour for a lot of you. It looks like Highway 68, 272, this could roll along that. That, of course, in Washington County. Now, this tornado warning does include Irwin's Crossroads, and that could head towards you, this couplet, or it could potentially pass right off to your west. Good news with this, it does look like it's falling apart. You see they're not right next to each other. You're getting a little bit of that gray area in between there. Now, this is still a very concerning couplet, but not quite as tight as earlier, and that is to be expected as we get radar scans within these tropical tornadoes to see that potential for them to kind of fall apart and come back together as these bands roll on through the area. Now, again, Looks like this is starting to push into western Johnson County right now. This potential tornado, again, not confirmed, but it is there is the potential for it in western Johnson, and then that's going to move into southwestern Washington County. Now, if you aren't dealing with the tornado warning, if you are not in that county, there is simply a lot of rain out there, although Alex and I have been watching quite a few little notches within this line of storms that is finally starting to push out. Once this main band gets out, are we completely in the clear? I don't think so, but I think that this is going to be our most active weather, is going to be within this one really strong band of storms that is from Tropical Depression Fred. Some very heavy rainfall, by the way, in parts of Baldwin and Jones County, where we did have that tornado warning a little earlier. Of course, that expired a good bit ago. The only active warning we have right now is for Lawrence County, also parts of Johnson and Washington. However, it does look like that center of circulation is now moving out of Lawrence County, so we'll primarily focus on Johnson and Washington counties. Otherwise, just some heavy rain in parts of southern Lawrence County. So if you are watching us in Dublin and you just heard some sirens go off in Lawrence County and you live in Dublin and you see some rain out there, do not worry. There's not going to be a tornado embedded within that rain. We are focusing that and looking for that in parts of, it looks like, western Johnson. So if you parallel Wrightsville here, that's where that center of circulation is. We'll zoom in a little bit now that that's kind of starting to push into some new territory here. It looks like most of the roads, there is Watermelon Road and Bethesda Road. Also, if we zoom on out McBride Road, that is where this is heading. If you live along McBride Road or you're about to head out and travel along 57 or 68, do not do so. Be sure you are in the proper place, being away from doors and windows before you head out and about this morning, since we are dealing with an active tornado warning in parts of, it looks like now, Johnson and also parts of Washington County. Yeah, if we can, Alex, if we can look up the Lawrence County, Dublin Skycam, I should say, and try and spin that north for us, that would be awesome. I'm pulling it up
right now. So we're seeing a lot of rain in Dublin, so we're not going to see a whole lot.
Right.
Let's.
It might be right over our Skycam, in fact.
Courtney,
actually.
Can you pop that up behind you?
Sure. Oh, do you? Oh, you want the Sky?
Yes.
I hear you. Yep. Okay, let's see.
See, so we're not going to see a whole lot because it's raining in Dublin, and that's the nature of these tornadoes. They are always going to be rain wrapped in these tropical systems. So we're not going to see a whole lot. This is from the Fred Roberts building in downtown Dublin. I believe I'm looking towards the north now.
Right.
But we're also talking about several miles away. If I can pull it back here on my radar and measure it really fast, and we are talking about 12 miles away. So, yeah.
A little bit of a reach, but notice, very wet start out there, whether you're dealing with a tornado warning or not. Of course, again, that tornado warning now really is primarily for western Johnson and parts of Washington County, southern Washington County. You need to be weather aware, and we're going to show you who needs to be starting to head into that interior room or waiting, and I shouldn't say or, and waiting to head out the door this morning. And like you saw on our Skycam, I know I was probably covering the road. The roads are going to be very wet this morning, so be sure you are not in a rush. This is not the morning to be late, and give yourself just a couple of extra minutes. So here is that couplet we're watching, definitely broad, looking better now that we are getting more radar scans in. Again, this does not include Wrightsville. The polygon does not reach Oconee either, and I don't anticipate this continuing on to do so. And it is going to go to the west of Harrison also. So we'll zoom in a little bit just to give you an idea.
Yeah, and Courtney, if I can jump in really fast, this doesn't look as bad as it did. Let me back this up really fast and show you what it looked like when the warning was issued. You see how that red and the green comes together there just like that, and you advance it forwards, and now the red is really starting to dissipate and the green not as strong. So some good news for Johnson County. However, the tornado warning continues. The other thing I want to note, this is entirely out of Lawrence County now. The warning's still technically in effect for Lawrence County, but the rotation has now crossed into Johnson County and is about to cross into Washington County, south of the Oconee area and to the west of the Harrison area.
Very good. Yes, thank you. And also just something to keep in mind, I just read from the Weather Service, they're also watching a storm in Baldwin and Hancock County as well. So again, it's all along that one line of storms that's been causing us problems, really starting at, I don't even remember, 3 o'clock this morning maybe, all the way until
like
now.
That.
So yeah, quite some time. That mouse almost just fell off of this keypad. That would have been good. All right, so live television at its finest. What we're watching again, this area of rotation, as Alex mentioned, looking a lot better, but heading right towards Highway 57, about to cross into Washington County, and that is the couplet that warranted for the warning to be issued until 7:45, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, 7:45. We did a tracker on it. Doesn't look like there's many towns in the way except Oconee, which is of course outside of this polygon. So it's really just going to be street by street where we'll be watching this. Highway 68. If you are about to travel along that, it looks like this is the split for Highway 272 and 68. This is going to go right in between that. So if your commute takes you there, just wait a few minutes and wait for this cell to pass. And really, if you can, wait for this outer band to pass, because that's where the heaviest rain and some very gusty wind is, and you don't want to be driving in that. So even if there is a warning in your area or not, if you are dealing with some very heavy rainfall, and that would be for all of you in parts of really the majority of Washington County, of course, Putnam County. We're watching a cell that's starting to move into parts of Baldwin County, also Hancock County. Just give yourself a couple of extra minutes to head out the door. If you can spare maybe a half an hour to wait for the worst of it to pass over you, then that would be wonderful. But I do know that this is the time a lot of people are getting ready to head out for work and school. Southern Lawrence County, you're good to go. Really, Lawrence County as a whole, that center of circulation is now past you. So this warning could get sliced off a little bit, but they might just let it go out until 7:45 for all of you. But we're not concerned about Lawrence County right now. We are primarily looking in parts of western Johnson County right now. This is really clipping parts of Wilkinson County, so got out of that one. But here is a look at that rotation. Really not impressive. So in Sandersville, this is to your south. It doesn't look like that's going to be an issue for you. You are solely going to be worried about all of the heavy rain within this band and also some very gusty wind. And something to keep in mind, we have been getting damage reports already this morning and some photos. Please continue to send those in to us if you do see any in your area.
Okay.
Okay, great.
I can take that.
You got the teleprompter.
Yes.
You go for it.
So Twiggs County, this is the Academy Sports and Outdoors Distribution Center that a tornado touched down. It looks like it touched down on radar earlier this morning. That's a Marathon gas station right there at I-16, and I believe that's Georgia 96. Amber Brazil sent us these photos through Facebook. You can see the storm damage. Like I said, the Academy Sports and Outdoors. There's a tree down. This is all in the region of Segundo Road. And there again is the Academy Sports and Outdoors Distribution Center. And when it's safe to do so, don't forget you can send us pictures of storm damage in your area by using the Near Me feature on our app and through Facebook. Of course, Amanda's sending those pictures to us on Facebook, which we appreciate. And there's the phone number that you can text them to. It's 478-752-1309. Again, text those damaged pictures if you see them. Be sure to include where they are so that we get a pretty good idea of what we're looking at. And again, that number is 478-752-1309. Remember, text us, don't call us on that number, and be sure to send your photos to us. Courtney?
Thank you so much, Alex. I was, of course, keeping an eye on this area of rotation that's really falling apart. Not super concerned about that right now, but there is an active warning there, so we will continue to watch that. I do want to point your attention. Of course, we talk about all the time the reds and the greens next to each other, and that shows rotation. However, when you see some of these, I don't want to do that. Don't do that. Hold on. I had the wrong tool on. We don't want to all of a sudden zoom it in really close to Lawrence County. There we go. That's what I needed. When you see some of these brighter colors here, and you can see this little ripple right there, that's still green, but that's indicating those straight line winds. So those are still very dangerous, and that is what you're dealing with in parts of Lawrence County right now as you're getting ready to head out the door. So for those of you who are about to travel along 16 especially, be very careful. Highways, a lot of people go very fast. Don't do that. Drive very carefully and drive slowly this morning, because we do have a lot of active weather, including this tornado warning that goes into effect until 7:45, and that is for western Johnson County now, and it looks like southern Washington County. Again, if you're in Lawrence County, while this polygon still includes you, and it does say it on the bottom of your screen there, Lawrence County, you're in the clear from this tornado warning. However, you are obviously not done with the rain, and that goes for most of Lawrence County as this outer rain band starts to make its way through the rest of central Georgia. What you got, Alex?
Yeah, I just wanted to show everybody a big picture of what's happening across central Georgia. Of course, we have Johnson, Lawrence, and Washington County in the tornado warning technically right now. We do still have a tornado watch in effect for most of our area, from Crawford County to Peach County, Houston County, and and we're getting an update from the Weather Service that they're about to update that watch. So we might see some changes in that pretty quick, but it runs until 1 p.m. today. So you're seeing some rain right now, parts of Jones County, also up towards Pike, Lamar, Monroe County. I don't think that's too concerning for us in terms of a severe weather threat. As of right now, we're focused on Johnson, Lawrence, and Washington counties. But again, we're not talking about Sandersville, Wrightsville, or Dublin. We're talking about the unpopulated parts of these counties. Courtney?
Thank you so much, Alex. Something to show you that might be of interest to you. We showed this a little earlier in that couplet that was really strong. We saw those gate-to-gate shear values of 107. Obviously a very different story here when we put some values to this couplet here. That clearly is not very impressive, and that is reflected by those numbers. When you start to see those higher numbers in the 50s, you add that velocity together, which is the rotation in the storm, and you start to get higher numbers, 50, 75, really closer to 100. That's when you really start to pay attention. Right now, this is obviously falling apart. So I do expect this warning to expire in the next few minutes, as it is forecast to at 7:45. All of this, of course, is a part of Tropical Depression Fred as it makes its way through the area. Now, like Alex said, that tornado watch, that is not a warning. Let's talk about the difference between a watch and a warning really quick, because just in case you don't know, it's important to know. Warnings mean that it's happening. So that is indicated by this red polygon right here. We had that radar indicated tornado, meaning that a tornado was possibly happening right now. However, that watch means that tornadoes will be possible. They are not currently happening. The radar isn't indicating any kind of rotation, but that in that area that is highlighted, it is possible. So we will be continuing to watch that. Okay, we have an update on schools. Is that what it is?
Yes, if Wanye could get that prompter, there we go. We checked with a few school districts. Wilkinson County says bus pickup times will be delayed. Again, this is Wilkinson County. They urge bus drivers and parents to take their time getting to school this morning, and there won't be a penalty if students show up late. Twiggs County schools say that buses may be running late, picking up students as well, and Bibb County schools are going full steam ahead. There will be no delays or cancellations today as the weather has moved past Bibb County. We have no word of any other school changes so far, but again, that was Wilkinson County with the changes there. Courtney, we'll send it back over to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Alex. Good information. Yes, Bibb County, like you said, full steam ahead, and that's fine because so the center of Fred is right here, just around the LaGrange, Georgia area. It is forecast to head up towards the metro Atlanta area. Quite the mess up there. I couldn't imagine the commute in Atlanta right now. You already know that it's pretty bad on a normal day. You add rain, that's a whole different monster.
Hey, yeah, so, Courtney, speaking of that, it might also be a good idea at the airport in Atlanta, if you are headed up and flying anywhere today. I know it's raining up there, but the other thing that's happening is that there's some very strong winds aloft with this tropical system. So it might be smart to check your flights also if you're headed up to the Atlanta airport.
We do have a camera there, by the way, if you want to check that out really quick.
Yeah.
So we right now have a lot of rain and even some very strong thunderstorms, one in which that has been at least suspicious of producing a tornado, but it has not been confirmed. That, of course, would be for parts of western Johnson County. That rotation right here starting to move into southern Washington County this morning. That will go just to the south and east of Oconee. Tennell doesn't look like it's going to make it to you. Also Sandersville, I think you should be good. This is going to expire in the next 5 minutes and maybe even sooner if the Weather Service in Peachtree City decides to do so. However, that is our only active warning for the start of the day. I do want to point your attention, though. See where you're seeing this green and red next to each other here? That's indicating some broad rotation. So just something that we are going to keep our eyes on. So just so you know, as Alex and I continue our team coverage this morning throughout the day, these are the kinds of things we're looking for. Now, obviously, that's not very concerning. However, it is showing some broad rotation, very much like that tornado warning is. But as of right now, not super concerned. I'm more concerned about the rain in that area and all of the wind, of course. So that could cause some downed trees, like we've also seen reports of already this morning. And I know that we had that little bar underneath me not too long ago that did say text your photos to us, and we would like to see them. Just be sure that you're doing so safely. And we can say that for the most part, for most of us, we're okay for the rest of the day. That greater threat for any kind of severe weather is going to be within this line of storms here that is starting to push into our easternmost counties. So here's Washington, Johnson, also Lawrence and Trutland counties. Once that line gets out, what we're left with is just some of the essentially wraparound bands that could wrap around the low that is starting to move through LaGrange. So right here, this is the center of Tropical Depression Fred. And notice some of those rain bands are starting to fire up behind our main one. But I think this is going to be the main culprit for us for the day today. Beyond that, while we could, yes, have some heavier downpours because we do have a lot of moisture to work with out there, when it comes to any kind of severe weather, I think we might be able to bring this tornado watch to an end a little earlier, at least shave off some of our counties. So maybe counties along 75 points west, we might be able to shave off. If that happens, we'll let you know, and that would be wonderful. But right now, we still do have that tornado watch in effect. As we go through the rest of the day, here's that rain band causing us all of our problems this morning. By 9 o'clock, starting to fall apart a little bit and push out of our easternmost counties. And by 11, we should be mainly dry as that center is starting to push further into Georgia. And notice we'll have just those wraparound rain bands to come around that area of low pressure that's going to leave us just unsettled for the rest of the day. Severe weather-wise, I think by lunchtime today we can just all take a breather and we won't have to worry about it after, I think now we've counted 6 tornado warnings this morning. So after a very active morning, we'll be able to take a little bit of a breather. So again, 9 a.m., this is when a lot of people will probably be heading out the door for school at this point. Again, like the school said, you won't be penalized for being late, and I believe it was Twiggs and Wilkinson counties. So just take your time this morning because that is where our focus is. And parts of Lawrence County, very heavy rain as well. And it looks like by 11, most of the rain will be out of the way, that outer rain band, and then we'll be left with some scattered showers. Alex.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Courtney and Alex. We do want to go ahead and give you a couple updates that we've gotten in the last little bit.
That's right. We checked with a few school districts. Wilkinson County says bus pickup times will be delayed. They urge bus drivers and parents to take their time getting to school this morning, and there won't be a penalty if students do show up late.
Now, Twiggs County School says buses may be late picking up students as well, and Bibb County School says schools will not be delayed or canceled today. We don't have any word yet from any other schools on changes so far, but we'll of course keep you updated as we get any of that information in.
All right, of course, and we are checking in with other school districts right now to see what's going on. But let's go ahead and get an update on power outages that are happening around the area. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get that computer pulled up of the Georgia power map to see what is going on right now. Caitlin actually has it pulled up right here on our laptop, so I'm going to go ahead and send things over to you.
Right, so Georgia Power's outage map looking right now, we have an outage in Macon affecting a little over, there it is, a little over 1,000 customers. They're saying they're going to reevaluate that condition. It was saying they were going to have it restored by about 10:15, but they have since changed that. So we'll of course keep you updated with any of those major outages, but that's the biggest cluster that we have in our area.
Certainly, and we've been saying it all morning. If you see any down power lines or anything like that, the best thing that you can do is just stay away from that.
Yes. Now, Tropical Depression Fred brought some heavy wind and rain through Twiggs County this morning. A lot of damage out there. Amber Bazil sent us these pictures through Facebook. You can see the storm damage to Academy Sports and Outdoors Warehouse over on Segota Road. It also damaged the roof here on the Marathon gas station and took down a tree. Sheriff Darren Mitchum also told me that they had an overturned tractor trailer around exit 24. I talked to him just a few minutes ago. He told me that they are still surveying damage out there, but right now they do know that no one is hurt, which is always good news.
Yes, and we do have a reporter who's actually out there to the scene right now just to give us a look at how everything is looking during the daylight hours. And once again, you can send us pictures of storm damage in your area, but we cannot stress to you enough, only do it when it is safe for you to do so. I said it earlier, you all are like family to us, so we want to make sure that you all are safe. You can send it to us using the Near Me feature in the 13 at WMAZ app, or you can also text it to us. You see the number, it's at the bottom of your screen. It's 478-752-1309.
Now, in Macon County, we don't have any reports of any serious damage out there, but Emergency Management Director Spencer Hawkins says they are still surveying Macon-Bibb County. He says the Emergency Operations Center is staffed. They are standing by in case we have any more storms roll through.
All right, and then, once again, if you all do see any damage, you can send it to that number right there on the bottom of your screen. You do see it there. It's 752-1309. Once again, we also want to make sure that it is absolutely safe. And Alex and Courtney, are we cleared? Are we good to go? All righty then. Thank you so much for rocking and rolling with us. You'll see us soon again. We're going to go ahead and send things over to break.
Customer service that's been